Hello, this is my doodles homework. So I took this journal out. I took it on a date. I got to know it a little bit better, and it definitely got to know me. So you're gonna see a lot of personal identity in this book or in this journal. Um, to start off, the first page I call it Lost Island. I felt like, this was my first page that I worked on. I was very lost. And then some personal meaning, I have different pathways that led to places of light and places of dark, pathways that have taken me all the way across the land, and some paths that I have already crossed before. I found it to be meaningful just because it was the first page and I felt completely lost. But I did it. I got through it, and it just starts getting better. This page is initially my background for brushstrokes. I decided when I turned it to the side, it looked like one of my favorite places to go, which is Lavazola Creek. I go there to go gold panning and rock hounding and all that cool stuff. And here you can see that I wrote Lavazola with acrylic gold paint. It did give it a cool, neat little texture on there to kind of give it a gold feel. Um, I have some gold acrylic veins in the mountains. And then down here, I drew some trees. And as you can see from left to right, they start slowly kind of getting better. I felt like I was getting a little bit better when I was drawing them. And then down in the river, some little gold flakes. That's usually the stuff I go out gold panning for. All right. The next page, I like to double up a lot of pages like this. It felt really good to kind of have them intertwine and cross into each other. Like I said on taking the journal out, this one I actually went back to my own backyard. I have sunflowers growing in my backyard, and I decided to really take a close look at the sunflowers and see how the petals were, and I played off the ink drops as if they were the center of the flower, and then the stems here. Again, I'm treating this journal as if it were my own captain's log for my intro. So you'll see here there's like little sayings. These are the feelings that I get when I go out into my garden. Pride is not far from the garden. There's calmness to be found in the garden. Love is near the garden. The garden requires maintenance and patience, sustainability, and happiness foreseen. This page is kind of like another double up page. This one, I felt like I was looking at two people kind of looking away from each other. But I felt it was love. I felt this side was like a sign, like a feeling of tears of happiness or tears of joy, whereas this side was the sadness of love. There's hardships. It's not an easy thing, but it is one of the most amazing things. And I used a technique in the book where you draw lines, and then you write the letters or the words in between the lines, and it came up with this really cool effect. Like they're both crying, so I considered this side the tears of joy and tears of sadness. This one, again, I played off a double pager. I got red and then green. So, being a stay-at-home dad, I kind of listed the things that that I didn't like to do so much when, obviously when I was working. I was always working, I was tired, and I feel like I was lacking time. And then also, this page made me probably the most frustrated. I used a marker that actually bled through to the other side. And luckily, my wife knows a thing or two about covering up things that bleed through. So she showed me a neat technique with Mod Podge. So then after that, I started using watercolors to try to fill in the letters, and it kind of felt very, I don't know, heavy, I guess. I don't know what the word would be. So then I switched to markers down here, and I just didn't like the marker effect. This was after I had stenciled an outline, I colored it in with a marker, and I just didn't like that. But here on the green side, this is the time I now have Being a stay-at-home dad, I have more time to play. I feel a lot more awake, and now I have more time rather than lacking time. And I like this one. It was stenciled in. All I did was just I took the pens and I kind of either went from left to right or vertical or did little scribbles in them, and it really turned out to look really cool. And I guess that plays a major role. You know, I don't like the red side, but I do like the green side. So here, these were actually the last two pages that I worked on. There was a lot of gold and brown over here, so I couldn't do very much with pens, I felt like. So I did a collage of me and my crewmates, you know, my wife and my child. They mean the world to me. And then this side, I did I just messed with lines. I did like a little pattern up here, some lines going up over here. I messed with some shapes kind of off from the paintbrush marks, made like a cube up here. I made a little book, if you can kind of see it. Down here, made another cube. This one was just kind of a doodle page. Like I said, I thought I saw an eye in my background, so I decided to throw a real eye in there, and they're pretty darn close, let me tell you. All right, these two pages were probably my favorite pages to do. In the Art Journal Freedom book, on I believe page 30, there was a page challenge to kind of do opposite effects of closure using like a similar image. And the similar image in this case was the ink spreading, this one going inwards, this one kind of going outwards. So these pages I did decide to get a little deep on. And go really further into my identity. I was in the military, you know, I've been to Afghanistan, so these are just some of the things, if I'm opening up to you guys, that I've seen things, and it's like an infection, and that's what this page reminds me of, is that it's kind of taking over, and it's, you know, up here I kind of log the infection begins to spread. And it's just like a sickness that you can't get rid of. But over on this page, I treated it as if it were the cure. And I have a sun hat, and I correlate that with being a dad. And that's what kind of helps me get out of this negative mindset. It's just the positive things that I have in life really do outweigh a lot of the negatives. And then here, you can see I logged in the hat rim. The cure was in plain sight. Infection seems treatable. So these pages, they're not really matching, so we'll just do this one. This one I called the Child of the Pack. My daughter, one of her first animal noises that she made was a wolf howling. So here on the background, I had these wolves howling, and I decided to follow the howling with an awoo, or awoo, you know, because that's how you howl. And then I messed with some lettering. I really gotta say I enjoyed using the pens in this journal. The pens really felt nice to use. I felt like I could do a lot of neat stuff with just using black ink, and I can't wait to show you the rest. This page right here had a hard time figuring out something to do with it, so I turned it into a game. What I see here it was Snake. I don't know if you guys ever played that game. You probably have. Super old game. You start at the head and you just keep going around eating these little bits and pieces. So I just kept going around trying to connect the snake. And then here, Snake is a video game, and I love video games. Video games are who I am when I'm at home, when I do have free time. So that's how I also tried to tie in Snake with who I am. And then here, if you follow, I connected lines that I thought I could see the snake actually connecting all the way to the end. And the words kind of help you guide it. The serpent lies awake during the night. And so I kind of use that as a play on, like, I'm awake during the night playing video games. So pretty neat. You can see the little connections here and there. I did them kind of subtly with like colored pencil. I didn't really want something to stand out too much. I kind of wanted to turn it into a game. You know, can you figure out what it says? Here on this page, I was having a hard time figuring out what to do, and then I turned it to the side, and it did remind me of a Winchester shotgun. Like I've told you guys, I've been in the military, I've handled weapons. I do believe in sustainability, and I think along with that is hunting on not an extreme level, obviously, but I do want to be able to provide for my family. I'm not the greatest hunter, but I have gone hunting before, and I might get back into it, but we'll see. But that's what I'm trying to get at is when I saw this page, I saw the textures. It kind of reminded me of like gunmetal, and then after turning it to the side, it looked like an old school Winchester shotgun, one of those ones with like the bolt action levers, and so I decided to kind of play off the handle and then just write Winchester here on the side. Here, little fingerprints background, I just decided to draw some eyes in there, and then I wrote identity, as it being my fingerprint. I mean, that's the most identity I can get. And also, just throughout life, I've had very many identities. Father, husband, soldier, veteran. I've worked at a mental health hospital. I've worked, God, I'm a student now. Who knows? But I just feel like there's so many identities out there that, I've been a lot. I mean, who knows? I probably have more than the amount of faces on here, and probably so do you guys. All right, and then the last two pages, I guess I'll start with this one first. I looked at this one as if it were a brain, and I used to work in mental health. I don't know how many times I'm going to bring that up with you guys, but I decided to kind of play off of, the typical kind of questions you ask someone in the field. Those are the outside words here. You can say, "How are you today? How did that make you feel?" Can you see or hear things that others cannot see or hear? Just those typical questions. And in the middle, where it's darker, I kind of put it as someone's response, or them trying to ask for help, or them saying, "I'm fine, I need help, can anyone hear me? I'm not okay, please help." It kind of got a little dark on there, but it's just mental health is kind of a dark field sometimes, so that's why I'm going to school, to get out of it. And on this page, this reminded me of the Beatles, this background, for some reason. So I decided to kind of have a little fun with it. And I put some of my favorite songs in there in different ways. I tried to keep titles of songs similar on where I put the words. So, like right here, "All You Need Is Love" went in a circle. "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds." "Obla Di, Obla Da," "Let It Be," and then up here, "Hey Jude." And it was pretty fun. It was neat drawing along the circles. I didn't know I was going to be able to do anything with these two pages, so the fact that something came out of it, I was pretty stoked. And that's it. I know this video is kind of long, but I really put a lot of work into this. Whenever I go flipping through it, I feel like it doesn't look like that much, but this was a lot more than 6 hours of work, and I had fun with all the pages, except that one. And I foresee me I'm gonna keep this journal for a long time. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or any comments, I'd love to hear them. Can't wait to see your guys' journals.